Episode 52, next surgery. So it's Wednesday, actually. So surgery is today. So I think after I did my last post, I started to feel a lot better about what's happening. I started to think about, different things, and, obviously getting the extra lymph nodes out is a good thing because, it gives you more surety that they've got everything. I did see Dr. Diviana yesterday, and I asked him whether, having to go in and get more means the cancer's spread, but not necessarily. It's just that it was probably bigger than they actually thought, and just, you can get those small cancerous cells where it might not be a lump, but they're still there and they could grow into something. And with being triple negative, it's that more aggressive cancer as well, so it's better off to get them all. The other thing I started to think about was the radiation. So, maybe today, if they take the implant out, that might be a good thing, because I said to him, can we then keep it out till after radiation? He said, yep, that's no problem. So the bruising, I think, was not getting better, but not getting worse. So what he said he'll do today is he will try and take off the skin that's not looking like it's very viable, and then see whether he can stitch it back. But it depends how much skin he needs to remove, because it may not be enough to then pull back over the implant. And if that's the case, he will take the implant out and put the expander in. So as I said, I'm actually comfortable with that. But it sounds like it's, even though I said it'll only be one drain on that side, it won't be. They put two also drains in. Plus he was also talking about putting, I think he said some sort of a suction thing on it that actually helps it heal quicker or better or something like that. It's all a little bit confusing, to tell you the truth. So again, it's always, you don't know everything until they actually get in there and can have a good look at what's going on. We did ask whether or not, because Mum had asked this, should have another PET scan, and he said no, not at this stage, unless you're sort of going in and seeing something that's very different to what the first PET scan said. There's no use having one when you're in the middle of treatment. And obviously it's radiation as well, so they don't like to expose you to even more radiation, which I'll have when I get to radiation therapy as well. So the left side has healed really well. He said, it's still fragile, so I still need to be careful with it, but it's really good. The scars on the right side were healing well also. It's just, as we said, the additional lymph nodes they need to go in and grab, and the the slight necrosis of the skin, which we know is not uncommon, because I spoke to a friend the other day and she said her daughter had it as well, and it all turned out fine. So I'm relatively at ease with everything, and I haven't had an afternoon surgery, so that'll be interesting, because I go in at 2. You usually stuff around for about an hour, filling in forms and whatnot. So the surgery is an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, so no doubt I'm not going to be out before 5, and then I've got to come out of the anaesthetic, so it could be 7 or so before I even am back in the land of the living. So back to the start again. And then this morning I went and got fitted for one of these, which is the compression bandage on for my arm, because they're taking extra lymph nodes. It's something to put on after the surgery. I actually thought it was for when I was in surgery, but no, it's not. It's something to wear after. You wear it during the day, take it off at night, and it is the preventative thing for lymphedema. So that, and I need to do the sweeping of my lymph nodes. But what she did, the OT Nadine, was when I went in a few weeks ago, she took a baseline of my lymphatic fluid, and the good thing is my lymph fluid after the operation had hardly gone up at all. So cross fingers that stays like that, because that's what the worry is if you're starting to accumulate fluid and things aren't going through your system. So I'm doing all the exercises for that. I was glad that I saw her too, because I'd forgotten I do stage 1 exercises. That was the first 2 weeks to, get things moving, the shoulder rolls, bicep curls, that sort of thing. But I didn't even consider the fact that the left side is actually healing fine and now has to move on to stage 2 exercises, whereas in this side is going to stay on the stage 1. So luckily, Nadine reminded me of that, and she just changed the exercises a bit, so it's just one side to do for the stage 2. But she checked my mobility. I had to do the arm up in the front and out to the side. She said my mobility was actually really good, so that's a good thing. And she said it will get better quite quickly as you do the exercises. Each time you do the exercise, it gets better each time. So when she talked about the sleeve, she sort of said, you may not have to wear it forever. And I thought, I was never considering wearing it forever. But she did say that potentially you'd have to wear it when you're on like a long haul flight or even any sort of flight, just as a preventative, wear it through radiation and all of that sort of thing. So anyway, that's easy. It's skin coloured. It's winter. I don't know how attractive it is in summer, but it doesn't matter. It's better than having lymphedema, which, is obviously going to be a big problem. Anyway, so that's where I'm at. As you can see, I'm in relatively good spirits about going back in. It's rainy again here today. So I shall update you again probably tomorrow or the next day about how it all went. So wish me luck. Thanks.